What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to take a look at Crime Boss Rockay City. If you guys remember, this is the game that was announced back at the Game Awards, and this game actually comes out in under 10 days, March 28th on the PC, and then it comes out sometime, I believe, in June. There is no date, but I think they just said June for the console, so it will come out on PlayStation and on Xbox, I believe current gen only, so PS5, Xbox Series S and X, but right now, it's only going to be on PC on March 28th, and this game looks pretty shaky from everything that I've kind of seen of it. There's only one or two gameplay clips that are kind of going around. IGN did a preview of it, and they were definitely not kind to it. It was actually kind of funny to watch, and then also there's about a 6 or 7 minute uncut, well, it is cut, but it's without like narration or somebody kind of walking you through it. They're just playing the game, and I believe this is the developers, and the game looks okay. I wouldn't say the game looks bad. It reminds me, when I'm watching it, quite a bit of like Payday 2. Now, IGN's preview, I'm pretty sure, literally talks about how it's Payday without any of like the payoff, that it's like it's got the ghost of Payday without anything else. So I don't think seeing Payday in it is that uncharacteristic. I think it's something that a lot of people would see. In IGN's preview, they actually talked about it being a lot like Left 4 Dead, that reminded them more of Left 4 Dead maybe than Payday. But like the game, again, doesn't look too bad. I think the first time I watched it, I only watched a couple minutes of it, and I was not impressed. I think if you go in thinking it's a Left 4 Dead / Payday thing, I think it looks fine. The issue, I feel, and IGN kind of went through it, is more of like the in-depth stuff, that it feels like this game, I think you can tell this actually by looking at it. I think a lot of the money that was put into this game was put into the actors, right? The Chuck Norrises of the world, the Vanilla Ices, like getting them, even though they're not necessarily like the biggest A-listers in 2023, I assume that's where a lot of the budget went. Now, IGN said a lot of the voice acting is like downright awful. I haven't heard, besides the trailer that they showed, the very first like reveal trailer, I haven't heard any of them really talk, so it's hard to judge it right now. But this game is broken up like a Left 4 Dead, where it's got the kind of campaign stories where they're going to mix in cutscenes with the actual gameplay. There's different modes to do, but basically you go in, you infiltrate something, you grab something, you escape, right? Those kind of, and that feels very Payday-like. So I think this game could work. Like, again, it doesn't look all that bad. I guess the unfortunate thing with this game maybe is it actually comes out in one of the more crowded areas of March. March is actually, as we've seen, pretty dead when it's come to games, Resident Evil being really the biggest thing to come out in March, and then this game comes out 4 days later. So the time that this game comes out, it has to come out right around the other gigantic game, or actually the only gigantic game of the entire month. So I don't know how it'll do. It hasn't really had a lot of promotion, and again, this is actually odd how much I'm complimenting IGN with their preview, but they made a good point too. Like, you can't judge everything based off of what we've seen, right? You obviously, it's the full game. You got to check out the full game when it comes out, whether you watch people play it or you buy it yourself. But it's important to note that, I mean, right now when we're talking about it, it's under 10 days. When they previewed the game, it was about a month out from when it was supposed to launch, and they were doing like an alpha build. In fact, I believe they even said that the game crashed on them 2 different times. So this kind of pre-build that they were playing for a preview event literally broke on them, and it's 1 month before the game comes out. On top of that, like I'm talking about with like a marketing thing, I routinely forget this game, number one, exists, and number two, that it's coming out soon. So I don't know how well it'll do, and then if the game just kind of fizzles, like it's not anything special, and that's kind of the thing with me. Again, not to bag on it too much, because I think it does look like a Left 4 Dead cross Payday 2, but if it's not as good as either of them, which I don't think is impossible to imagine, it comes out a couple days after Resident Evil. If there's really nothing to do but to have stupid fun with your friends for a couple hours, and then it kind of ends, I think that's, I think that works for some games, and I think a game that just markets itself on having like big dumb fun, I think that's fine, right? There are some games that are like that, but I think because of the marketing, because it does just look like what we've had from other games in the first place, and then it's not really talked about, people don't really know about it. It has a staggered release, right? PC first, then a couple months, and we don't even know when. A couple months later, it comes out on consoles, and it comes out after a big game in Resident Evil. The game may just kind of come out and then be gone after like a few days. So we'll have to see. I think it could go either way. I think the game could work if it's just like surprisingly dumb fun. I think that could easily happen. but we'll have to see. So I'll be keeping my eyes on it. Maybe review scores will go live within, well, I mean, it comes out next Tuesday, so I think within the next week and a half, there should be some people that talk about it. So I'll be looking into those for sure. Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.